Good morning, international audience. This is a presentation by Professor Don John O'Malley, Professor of Criminology with specialism in restorative justice and victimology at the Federal University, Wukari, Taraba State, Nigeria. The title of my presentation is Restorative Justice Opportunities in Nigeria for International Collaboration. The impact of restorative justice as a global and humanizing justice cannot be overemphasized. And that is the essence of this Restorative Justice World Conference. In Nigeria, challenges in the criminal justice, in the political and electoral system, and other social systems that need restorative resolutions abound. This short presentation will showcase restorative justice opportunities emerging in Nigeria for possible international partnership and collaborations. Theme 1: Restorative justice opportunities in prisons. Globally, doubts are increasing about whether imprisonment alone can rehabilitate offenders. It is often suggested that sending minor offenders to prison can turn them into worse criminals. For that reason, imprisonment should be reserved for the more serious and dangerous offenders. Imprisonment, which is itself a costly undertaking, brings with it other social costs, especially in this era of COVID-19. Similarly, prison overcrowding is a problem faced by many countries, including Nigeria. Hence, in a severely overcrowded prisons, it can be impossible to train prisoners to lead law-abiding lives following their release. On this note, and following long years of advocacy in Nigeria, the Nigerian Correctional Service came up with the Nigerian Correctional Service Act of 2019. The Act now provides opportunity for mainstreaming restorative justice in the Nigerian Correctional Service. For instance, Section 43, subsection 1 of the Act provides that the Comptroller General of Corrections shall provide a platform for restorative justice measures, which include A. Victim offender mediation, B. Family group conferencing, C. Community mediation, and D. Any other mediation activities, including involving victims, offenders, and where applicable, community representatives. This is a recent development in Nigeria that call for international collaborations and learning experiences. Opportunity Team 2: Restorative Justice and Counter-Violent Extremism. Nigeria has been fighting Boko Haram terrorism and other forms of violent extremism in the Northeast since 2009. After several years of Operation Fire for Fire using the military forces, the process for the reintegration of about 600 repentant violent extremists into the society began with their de-radicalization and rehabilitation at the Nigeria's Operation Safe Corridor Center in Gombe, northeastern Nigeria. There are objections to this policy of government from some victims of Boko Haram terrorism, like the internally displaced persons and wives of soldiers killed by the insurgents. These objections are based on lack of inclusion of victim voices in the planning and implementation of the policy, and doubts on the sincerity or remorsefulness of the so-called repentant terrorists also abound. Nigeria needs cross-fertilization of experts who might have been involved in this kind of programming in the past. So the Irish experience, for instance, could be of significant model here. So this presentation is soliciting international experience or international experts who can share their experience with the Nigerian authority in this regard. Item number 3, restorative justice and democracy building. Nigeria returned to democratic governance in May 1999 after several years of military rule. This democratic experience is encumbered with rigging, electoral violence, thuggery, and other forms of political violence at electionary campaigns by APC and PDP, the two major political parties in the country. These political and election security issues have culminated into religious and ethnic divide that bred hatred among the major ethnic groups that control the political power in the country. The social learning experience of the youth from these challenges is democratically bankrupt. On this note, I am soliciting international collaborations and experiences to enthrone what I call restorative democracy in Nigeria. Theme number 4, herders and farmers conflicts in Nigeria. Spillovers of Boko Haram insurgency in northeast Nigeria and the intractability of political wranglings among religious and ethnic groups in the country have metamorphosed into another social problem called herders-farmers conflict in north-central Nigeria. This intractable conflict has killed thousands of people in Benue, Kogi, Nasarawa, Plateau, and Taraba states respectively. Farmers are afraid of going to their farms for fear of being killed by herdsmen. The implication of this is food insecurity and illegal migration among the affected people. International collaboration to restore peace in troubled communities is therefore strongly advocated. Theme number 5, restorative campuses. In July 2020, I and Dr. Ian Melder of Maynooth University, Ireland, and Dr. Wendy O'Brien of UNODC participated in Education for Justice webinar on restorative justice in classroom settings, fast-tracked and facilitated by Dr. Ian and Dr. Wendy O'Brien. I argued in that webinar that in Nigeria, the need for restorative practices in classrooms and campuses have been long overdue because of the intractability of campus bullying, victimization by students who are members of cult groups or secret societies, and staff intimidation and harassment of students. Typical cases include sexual harassment of female students by randy lecturers, rape of female students by some secret cult gangs members, as well as threats and bullying of lecturers by some student cult groups. In addition, lecturers' union in Nigeria are constantly in dispute with government over poor condition of service and infrastructure. This leads to displacement of aggressions by some lecturers on their students sometimes. Restorative justice practices that restore student-staff relationship, student-student relationships, as well as lecturer-government relationship is therefore long overdue in Nigeria. This is to enhance learning, research, and community service, as well as restoring our university to what I would call restorative campuses. Restorative campuses is very, very imperative for sustainable development of Nigeria. Because according to this theory of crime we call the breaking window theory, once microcrime starts emerging and the microcrimes are not prevented, they metamorphose into macro crimes. So I am soliciting international collaborations where we can mainstream restorative practices in Nigerian university campuses. Conclusion: restorative justice is no doubt a global and encompassing justice model. The diversity and number of participants at this RJ World Conference from around the world attest to this fact. This momentum should be encouraged because injustice and insecurity anywhere is injustice and insecurity everywhere. I therefore agree with Tim Chapman that restorative justice should move from an ecosystem to an ecosystem approach to make it a truly globalized and humanistic justice. This is imperative because there will be no rhythm in our restorative justice advocacy globally unless and until we all sing. Thank you very much for listening to this strong African voice soliciting for restorative partnership globally. Shalom.